Students, last time we have seen the angular measurement and the various things which are used for the measurement of the angles or checking the angles or inspecting the angles. Today we'll see the screw thread measurements. Now here the terminology of a screw thread is shown in the diagram, where you can find out the pitch. It is shown here, pitch, then crest, then the thread angle, then the flank angle, then the flank is nothing but the surface between the root and the crest, the inclined surface. This is root, which is the lowest part of the thread. So this is the external thread shown, and the terminology shown here. This the major diameter is from the crest to crest. The minor diameter is from root to root, and the effective diameter, that is the pitch diameter, it is known as. Effective diameter means where the mating parts, if this screw is getting assembled with certain nut, so that will be touching the internal thread of the nut will be touching to the external thread of the screw or bolt up. So that point where from it is coming in contact is known as effective diameter or pitch diameter. So this is the pitch diameter, or and the line, imaginary line passing through this pitch diameter is known as pitch line. So this is what is the terminology regarding this screw thread measurement. This is addendum. Addendum is the distance between the crest and the pitch diameter, and distance between the root and the pitch diameter or pitch line is known as dedendum. So this we'll find in the gear also. So this terminology is shown here, and the definitions of all these things of these terminologies, details is given below. So what is screw thread? So screw thread is a helical ridge produced by forming continuous helical groove of uniform section on a external or internal surface of a cylinder or cone. So if it is a cone or a frustum, then it is known as tapered screw thread. If it is a cylinder, it is known as parallel screw thread. So most of the time the way we see the external threads on a screw or a nut or a bolt, that are parallel screw thread or straight screw threads. External thread is the threaded formed on the outside surface of the workpiece, called as external thread, such as bolts or studs or screws, we can say. Then internal threads are the threads which we find in nut, the thread formed on the inside of a workpiece, that is internal thread. Then axis of thread, it is the imaginary line running longitudinally through the center of the screw. So that is what is the imaginary line. It is axis of the thread about which it is symmetric from all the side. Then hand, right or left hand threads. Suppose a screw is held such that the observer is looking along the axis. If a point moves along the thread in clockwise direction and thus moves away from the observer, the thread is right hand, and if it moves towards the observer, the thread is left hand. So depending on its rotation, clockwise or anti-clockwise, it is if it is moving towards or away from the observer, we can designate it as right hand or left hand. Then crest, we have already seen crest. This is the crest, the upper portion of that thread. Then the root is the lower bottom of the groove, this root. Then flank is the straight edge which connects the crest and the root. So this is the flank, this inclined surface of the screw. Then pitch is there, flank angle is there. Flank angle is the angle between the line, perpendicular line to the pitch line, and the inclination of the surface, that is flank angle. This total is thread angle. Half of this is known as flank angle. The pitch of the thread is the distance measured parallel to the axis of the thread between corresponding points of adjacent thread. So this we can call it as pitch. So here it is shown, the distance between the corresponding points on the threads, pitch of the screw. Then lead is there. Lead is the axial distance moved on the by the threaded part when it is given one complete revolution. So by how much distance it is moving when it is rotated by one complete rotation, that is what is lead. Then lead angle is there. It is angle made by the helix of the thread at the pitch line. Then depth of the thread, it is the distance between crest or tip of the thread to the root. That is the axial distance straight from the crest to the root. Then addendum, I have already told you, it is defined as the radial distance between major and pitch cylinders. Dedendum is radial distance pitch and the minor, means from root to pitch, and from crest to pitch it is addendum, from root to pitch it is dedendum. Then measure diameter is there. It is the upper diameter, means we can say from this crest to the crest on the other side. This is measure diameter. From root on one side to the root on other side is the minor, and the effective diameter or pitch diameter is the point at which the mating part is going to contact with these threads. So if a nut and bolt is getting engaged, then that thread of that nut will be engaging with the thread of this bolt up to only the pitch line. So effective diameter, that is what is known as effective diameter or pitch diameter. So that is what is effective diameter. So it is just an imaginary line where it is going to meet. So what type of errors we can commit while going for a screw thread? So if there is error in measure diameter, then the component will be weak, the defect occur will be weak. Measure diameter error is there. If minor diameter is say we are getting the error, then there will be reduction in root section. So minor diameter is the diameter of the screw from root to root of the other side. So it is this reduction in root section. And effective diameter is interference and slackness of it. So effective diameter, if we are getting error in, then the fit in the two mating parts, means the bolt and the nut, or the screw and the nut. So there will be the fit observed, there will be interference type, and that will be very difficult to get engaged. So there will be slackness in fit. Then if there is error in the pitch, this errors or these defects will be there. Thread will be, let's say, disturbed, or we can say may not be that will be rejected actually if we are not getting the pitch correct. So in the mating or say engaging with the other part, means if we are getting the error in the pitch of a nut, then it may not get engaged properly with the bolt. So such type of error may occur if we are having the errors in the important dimensions of the threads, that is measure diameter, minor diameter, effective diameter or pitch. So how we can measure these dimensions, that we are going to see. So measurement of major and minor diameter using bench micrometer. Now this is just a micrometer which is having a certain base, and it can be directly mounted on a bench. So this base is shown. The micrometer scale is calibrated on this cylinder, and there is a two anvils shown here, so where we can hold the screw. So we have to hold it in hand and we can hold it in between these two anvils. This pointer of this indicator, fiducial indicator, should be aligned to 0. Once it is aligned to 0, we can see the reading on the micrometer and we can find out the major diameter or minor diameter. So for major diameter, it is shown here. If we want to check the major diameter, then major diameter means the outside diameter of this crest to crest. So before checking this, directly checking the diameter of this screw or this thread, we have to check the diameter of the cylinder of the same size, standard cylinder. Then these anvils are kept in contact with this cylinder which is not having any thread. Then we remove this and then we enter the threaded part, so that this setting of anvils will be easier. So it is done for to avoid the much movement of the anvils. So this is the cylinder which is having the same diameter as this screw thread, which is entered first into this anvils, set the anvils, and then we have to remove this. Then we have to enter this threaded screw and we can check the major diameter. So this is the micrometer is set over the master and standard cylinder having same approximate die, that is denoted as capital D. Micrometer is then set over the major diameter M. So this is major diameter M and the reading is recorded as R. So this reading recorded as capital R. So M is equals to, major diameter is equals to D, that is the diameter of the standard, plus minus the first RS, that is first reading of the micrometer, minus the second reading of the micrometer. So this D is the diameter of the master cylinder which is entered first. So this is the way in which we can measure the major diameter with the help of this fiducial bench micrometer. Now to measure the internal diameter or say minor diameter, the anvils are pointed. Here the anvils are straight because it will touch to the crest, but to touch the anvils into these roots, they are made pointed like this. Same is the method. First the standard diameter cylinder is held in between this anvil and then the threaded one. So this is the same what we can observe in the major diameter, process of major diameter. The minor diameter can be checked by the same process. Only difference is the anvils are pointed here, V shaped. Then there is a floating carriage machine which is just nothing but the same fiducial bench micrometer, but the only difference is in this bench micrometer we have to hold that job in hand. We have to place that into this anvil with hands and we have to hold it in hand. So there may be some error because of holding that workpiece in the hand. To avoid that, here the workpiece is supported by these clamps, the holding centers. So we can hold the workpiece in between these holding centers and then we can check the dimensions. So that is the only difference between this fiducial bench micrometer and this floating carriage machine. So additional support is there. So the only difference is that one. So these are the two measuring anvils and the workpiece is held in between these two holding centers and the reading is taken. So that is the only difference. So there are 2-3 methods with the help of which we can measure the major diameter and internal diameter and the effective diameter of the screw threads. So first method is 2-wire method. So here in this diagram the 2-wire method is shown. The wire means they are just similar as needles. That 2 needles are there and that 2 needles are held in this root and the anvils are kept in touch with these 2 wires. So here we can see The effective diameter of screw thread may be ascertained by the placing two wires or rods, just needles or rods are there, of identical diameter between the flanks of the threads and measuring the distance over the outside of these wires. So this AM is shown. So it is nothing but these two wires placed. This is top view of this. Two wires are placed here. This round shown, the circle is shown for the wires, the needles, and these are the anvils. So this is the outside dimension which we are taking. It is denoted as AM. So the effective diameter, if you want to calculate, it is E is equals to T plus P. Now what is T? T is dimension under the wire. Now dimension under wire is how much? It is M, that is the outside dimension, minus twice the dimension, means dimension of the wires. There are two wires, so it is 2D. So this M minus 2D is the E, where T is dimension under wire, that is M minus 2D. M is dimension over wire. So wire च्या वरून घेतलेलं, वायरच्या नंतर घेतलेलं डायमेन्शन, वायर त्याच्यात त्या स्क्रू थ्रेडमध्ये ॲड करून घेतलेलं डायमेन्शन इज एम. डी इज डायमीटर ऑफ इच वायर. डी स्मॉल डी जो आहे तो या वायरचा डायमीटर आहे. दोन वायर आहे म्हणून 2D. अँड पी इज कॉन्स्टंट डिपेंडिंग ऑन द थ्रेड अँगल अँड पिच. So that constant is there. So T plus P, that is dimension under wire, plus P, this constant, is the effective diameter. Now this is one of the method, but this method is having certain problem in measuring this, because there is, see this, as the threads are not symmetric, we can say this one wire is slightly on the right side of the second wire, or there is some it is not in one line, they are just inclined to each other. So to avoid this error, we go for 3-wire method. So here 2 wires are attached on one side and the other wire, the third wire, is on other side. That is the only difference. So that is 3-wire method. So we can ensure the anvil faces alignment parallel to the thread axis. Here it is we can say difficult, but here you can avoid that, and we can get the more accurate reading with the help of this. And this is 3-wire method. The last one is the best wire method. Best wire method is what? The wire is of the diameter. The wire is of the diameter which is having, or which is touching at the pitch line. So if we attach this wire into this screw thread, this wire is going to touch to the pitch line or the effective diameter. So that wire is known as best wire. And we can see in this method the wire is of such diameter that it makes contact with the flank of the thread on the effective diameter or pitch line. So that is what is, we can say, we can measure in the best way, we can measure the effective diameter with the help of this best wire method. So best wire is the wire which is touching, when we insert it, which is touching to the line which is effective diameter line or pitch line, it is also called as. So this is what is best wire method, and these are the methods which are used to measure the major diameter, minor diameter and effective diameter of the screw threads. 2-wire method, 3-wire method and the best size wire method. This ends your unit number 5. So next time we'll start with the unit number 6, that will be on gear measurement and surface roughness measurement, and there is CMM, that is coordinate measuring machine, that will hardly require 3 more lectures, and we'll end with your syllabus this week only. Thank you.